Have you ever had that gut feeling that something just isn't right, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it? Maybe he says all the right things, but something about his actions feels off, almost like you're being pulled along without truly being seen, valued. If that sounds even a little familiar, you're in exactly the right place. Because today, we're going to uncover the hidden behaviors men show when they're not serious, not invested, and worse, when they're using you. Welcome to this powerful, eye-opening video, where we're diving deep into the 7 unmistakable signs that a man is using a woman. These aren't just the obvious red flags everyone talks about. These are the subtle patterns most women miss until it's too late. The ones that leave you wondering, was it me? Did I expect too much? Am I overthinking? Spoiler alert, you're not. And today, you're going to see it all clearly. By the end of this video, you'll have the clarity, the tools, and the confidence to spot these toxic behaviors early, so you can protect your heart, your energy, and your future. You'll walk away knowing exactly what healthy love looks like, and more importantly, what it doesn't. So if you're ready to stop second-guessing yourself, to spot the truth behind the charm, and to finally step into the love you truly deserve, stay tuned. Because the information you're about to hear could completely change the way you date, the way you love, and the way you see yourself forever. This isn't just another dating tips video. This is your wake-up call and your power move. Let's get into it. When it comes to relationships, one of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that time will fix things, that if they just love harder, wait longer, or stay patient enough, everything will magically turn around. But the truth is, time doesn't heal red flags. Time doesn't change someone's character. It only reveals it more clearly. Recognizing early signs that a man is using you is not about being paranoid or judgmental. It's about protecting your heart, your time, and your future before deeper emotional attachment clouds your judgment. The longer you stay with someone who doesn't truly value you, the harder it becomes to leave, and the deeper the emotional damage can run. Early signs are like whispers. They're easy to miss if you're caught up in hope, attraction, or potential. He might shower you with attention one day and disappear the next. He might make big promises but never follow through. He might charm you with words while his actions quietly reveal that you're just an option, not a priority. And the sad reality is, if you don't listen to those early whispers, they eventually turn into loud, painful lessons that are much harder to recover from. Recognizing the behaviors early gives you back your power. It allows you to make choices based on reality, not fantasy. You stop falling for words and start paying attention to actions. You stop excusing mistreatment in the name of potential and start honoring what you deserve right now. Think about it. Every strong, self-respecting woman you admire didn't get there by ignoring red flags. She got there by learning to trust herself, by believing her intuition the first time it told her something was off, and by having the courage to walk away when someone's actions didn't match their words, even if it hurt in the short term. When you recognize these signs early, you save yourself from pouring your love, energy, and dreams into a relationship that was never meant to support you in the first place. You open yourself up to real, healthy love, the kind that doesn't leave you questioning your worth, your sanity, or your value. It's not about being cold or closed off. It's about being wise. You can still be soft, open, and loving, but you need to be discerning about who gets access to that beautiful heart of yours. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life just because they showed up and said the right things. So today, as we break down the 7 behaviors that reveal a man's true intentions, I want you to make yourself a promise. No more settling. No more giving endless chances to people who don't deserve them. No more ignoring your own needs for the sake of keeping someone else happy. You deserve a relationship where you feel valued, respected, and chosen, without having to fight for it. And it all starts with recognizing the signs early, trusting yourself completely, and knowing that walking away from the wrong person is never a loss. It's a victory. One of the very first signs that a man might be using you is his inconsistent attention. At first, it can feel thrilling. The unexpected texts, the sudden dates, the intense compliments that seem to come out of nowhere. It's like he's throwing little sparks, just enough to keep you hooked. But pay close attention. When a man's interest feels hot and cold, exciting one moment and distant the next, that's not passion. That's a red flag. Inconsistent attention creates emotional confusion. You find yourself constantly wondering where you stand, analyzing every message, every conversation, trying to figure out if he's still interested. One week he's all over you, telling you how amazing you are. The next week it's like pulling teeth just to get a simple reply. This push and pull dynamic isn't a coincidence. It's often a tactic, whether conscious or not, to keep you emotionally invested without him having to put in consistent effort. Real interest looks different. A man who values you will create stability, not chaos. He won't make you guess whether you're important to him. You won't feel anxious waiting by your phone or second guessing if you said something wrong just because he suddenly pulled away. When someone's attention feels inconsistent, it usually means you're not his priority. You're his convenience. You're there when he's bored, lonely, or needs validation. And when he's satisfied, he pulls away again, leaving you emotionally drained and more attached than ever. And here's something crucial. Inconsistency isn't just bad communication. It's often emotional manipulation. By giving you crumbs of affection, he keeps you hopeful and hooked, always chasing that next moment of closeness. It's a cycle that leaves you feeling addicted to the highs, devastated by the lows, and always questioning your own worth. When you notice inconsistent attention, don't excuse it. Don't tell yourself he's just busy or stressed if the pattern keeps repeating. The right man will make an effort to stay connected, even during busy times. He won't disappear for days and then come back acting like nothing happened. Consistency isn't about constant communication. It's about predictable, reliable presence. The sooner you recognize that inconsistent attention isn't romantic or exciting, it's disrespectful and destabilizing, the sooner you'll stop tolerating it. You'll realize you're not asking for too much by wanting someone who shows up for you, who makes you feel secure, who doesn't make you guess. Your heart deserves someone who sees you as a priority, not a backup plan. Someone whose words and actions match day after day, not just when it's convenient for them. The longer you tolerate inconsistency, the more it teaches you to accept emotional scarcity. And you were never meant to live in emotional starvation. You were meant for steady, abundant, nourishing love. So when you spot inconsistent attention, don't chase after it. Let it go. Protect your peace. Protect your heart. Because someone who's truly for you will never make you question whether they are. Another glaring sign that a man might be using you is when he only seems to appear in your life when it benefits him. It could be emotional comfort, physical intimacy, financial support, or even just a quick ego boost. Pay attention to the patterns when he needs advice, when he's feeling lonely, when he needs a place to stay or someone to bail him out. That's when you hear from him. But when you need support, a listening ear, or simply some quality time, suddenly he's nowhere to be found. This behavior can be incredibly damaging because it teaches you to associate love with being needed, not being cherished. You start to feel like your value lies in what you can do for him, not who you are to him. And over time, you might even start bending over backward to stay useful, just to keep him around, even if deep down you know you deserve so much more. A man who only shows up when he needs something sees you as a resource, not a partner. You become like an emotional vending machine. He pushes a button, gets what he wants, and then walks away until he needs another favor, another boost, another fix. There's no reciprocity, no genuine effort to meet your needs, no investment in your happiness unless it directly serves his. The truth is, love is not about convenience. Real love shows up even when there's nothing to be gained. Real love offers, gives, nurtures. It doesn't just take. If you notice that conversations always revolve around his problems, his needs, his drama, and rarely about how you're feeling or what you might need, it's time to take a hard look at the dynamic. Relationships should feel mutual, balanced and supportive, not one-sided and draining. Sometimes he might mask it really well. Maybe he'll throw in a compliment here or a romantic gesture there to keep you hopeful. But if you look closely, you'll see a pattern. Your presence is conditional. He's present when it's easy or necessary for him, and absent when it's about truly building something meaningful together. And I know it's tempting to think, if I just keep being there for him, maybe he'll realize how amazing I am. Maybe he'll finally step up. But if he's using you now, He'll likely continue using you, no matter how much love or support you pour into him. Change doesn't happen because you give more. Change happens when someone chooses to respect and value you without needing something in return. You are not here to be someone's emotional crutch, bank account, therapist, or backup plan. You are meant to be loved for your soul, your heart, your spirit, not for what you can provide in moments of convenience. Remember, the man who truly deserves you will show up for you even when he doesn't need anything. He'll show up simply because he treasures you. One of the most painful yet revealing signs that a man is using you is when he repeatedly disregards your feelings. It starts subtly. He brushes off your concerns, minimizes your emotions, or acts like you're being too sensitive whenever you express hurt or disappointment. Over time, you begin to question your own reality. You wonder if maybe you are overreacting, if maybe you should toughen up, if maybe your needs are just too much. But the truth is, any relationship that dismisses your emotions is not built on love, it's built on control. When a man consistently disregards your feelings, he's telling you without words that your inner world doesn't matter to him. He's telling you that his comfort is more important than your emotional safety. And if left unchecked, this pattern can quickly evolve into emotional neglect, where you feel invisible, unheard, and deeply lonely, even while technically in a relationship. Disregarding your feelings doesn't always look aggressive. Sometimes it's passive. He changes the subject when you bring up something that hurt you. He jokes when you try to have a serious conversation. He gives you the silent treatment when you ask for more effort. Every time this happens, a tiny part of you gets quieter. You start sharing less, asking for less, needing less. Not because your needs disappeared, but because you've learned they won't be honored anyway. And that's exactly how users like it. The less you speak up, the less accountability they have to face. The less you believe your own feelings are valid, the easier it becomes for them to stay comfortable, taking whatever they want from you, without giving anything real in return. But you deserve better. Your feelings are not inconveniences. They are not dramatic. They are not weaknesses. They are powerful indicators of your inner truth, your boundaries, and your needs. In a healthy relationship, your emotions are met with care, curiosity, and respect, not eye rolls, deflections, or guilt trips. It's important to understand a man who truly loves and values you wants to know when you're upset. He wants to understand your experience. He doesn't shame you for feeling hurt. He leans in. He listens. He makes an effort to change behavior that causes you pain, not because you demand it, but because your feelings matter to him. So if you notice that expressing your emotions consistently leads to arguments, dismissal, or even punishment, it's not a phase, it's a sign. A man who disregards your feelings is showing you that your heart will never be safe with him. And no matter how good the chemistry feels at times, no matter how charming he can be when he wants something, you cannot build a lasting, loving relationship on a foundation where your emotions are treated like they don't exist. Protect your heart. Honor your voice. Because the right man will never make you feel wrong for having feelings. He'll make you feel heard and held. One of the most confusing and manipulative behaviors you'll encounter from a man who is using you is when he talks a lot about commitment, but does almost nothing to actually build it. He'll say all the right words. He wants you, he sees a future. He talks about moving in together, marriage, even having a family someday. It sounds like a dream. You start to imagine your life together because he's painting that picture for you with his promises. But here's where it gets tricky. His actions never match his words. When it's time to actually show up, to put in the real effort that commitment demands, he disappears. He avoids emotional conversations. He sidesteps making plans. He doesn't introduce you to important people in his life. He never takes real steps forward. It's like he wants the benefits of being in a relationship, your loyalty, your time, your affection, without doing any of the work that creates a lasting bond. Pushing for commitment verbally while avoiding the actual responsibility of a relationship is a huge red flag. It keeps you emotionally hooked while allowing him to keep his freedom. It gives you just enough hope to stay invested, always waiting for the moment he'll finally step up. A moment that sadly often never comes. Men who truly want a future with you don't just talk about it. They actively work toward it. They make you feel secure in the present while building something for the future. They respect your heart enough not to make promises they don't intend to keep. They understand that love isn't about grand declarations. It's about consistent actions that align with their words. If you find yourself constantly justifying his behavior, saying things like, he's just stressed right now, or he's been hurt before, so he's scared to open up, step back and ask yourself, how much of this relationship is based on hope and potential, and how much is based on what's actually happening? Avoid getting stuck in a cycle where you're clinging to what he says instead of what he does. Remember, commitment is not a set of promises, it's a set of actions. It's showing up even when it's inconvenient. It's working through issues instead of running away. It's making sacrifices, having difficult conversations, and choosing each other over and over again. When a man truly values you, you won't have to beg for effort. You won't have to chase consistency. You won't have to constantly question if you're enough. He will show you through the small things every single day that you are his choice, not his convenience. Don't settle for someone who plays with your dreams just to keep you close. Wait for the man who's willing to build those dreams with you with real effort, real commitment, and real love. One of the most toxic signs that a man is using you is when he makes you feel guilty simply for having boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are necessary. They protect your peace, your heart, and your dignity. But when you're dealing with someone who has selfish intentions, boundaries suddenly become a threat. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because he can no longer control you as easily. A man who is using you doesn't want you to have limits. He wants unlimited access to your time, your energy, your body, your kindness, without having to truly earn it. So the moment you stand up for yourself, the moment you say, this doesn't feel good to me, or I'm not comfortable with that, he turns it back on you. He acts hurt. He accuses you of being selfish, cold, or not understanding him. He might even call you difficult, dramatic, or accuse you of ruining what you two have. This is emotional manipulation at its finest, making you second-guess your own right to protect yourself. Over time, if you're not careful, you start shrinking your boundaries just to keep the peace. You tell yourself it's easier to go along with things than to upset him. You start feeling guilty just for having needs, desires, or standards. But here's the truth. Healthy love will never punish you for protecting your heart. A man who genuinely cares about you will respect your boundaries even if he doesn't always like them. He will listen when you say no. He will honor your feelings even when it's inconvenient. He will see your boundaries as a sign of self-respect, not as a personal attack against him. If you notice that every time you stand up for yourself, you're made to feel like the villain, understand, that's not love. That's control. That's someone trying to chip away at your sense of worth. So you'll eventually give more, accept less, and stay silent when your heart is screaming for better. You deserve to be with someone who celebrates your strength, not someone who punishes you for it. Someone who sees your boundaries not as barriers but as blueprints for how to love you better. The right man will never guilt you into silence. He'll lean in, he'll want to understand you more deeply, not push you away because you dared to speak your truth. Setting boundaries is not a betrayal of a relationship. It is an act of love for yourself and for the future of any relationship you allow into your life. So if a man makes you feel guilty for setting them, it's a clear sign he's not interested in loving you. He's interested in using you. Protect your energy. Protect your peace. You never have to apologize for honoring your worth. One of the clearest signs that a man is using you is when you realize you're always the one giving your time, your love, your energy, your support, and he's always the one taking without ever truly giving back. It's not about occasional imbalances, which happen naturally in healthy relationships sometimes. It's about a constant draining pattern where the flow of energy only moves in one direction from you to him. At first, you might not even notice it. You're happy to give because that's who you are. Loving, generous, kind. You want to see him happy. You want to support his dreams. You want to be the woman who stands by his side no matter what. But slowly you start to feel it. That nagging emptiness, that quiet exhaustion, that feeling that no matter how much you pour into him, it's never enough to make him step up and pour anything back into you. You find yourself bending your schedule, compromising your needs, and even silencing your own feelings just to keep him comfortable. You make sacrifices he doesn't even notice. You offer understanding when he offers excuses. You give second chances and third and fourth, hoping that maybe this time he'll appreciate you. Maybe this time he'll finally reciprocate, but he doesn't. He keeps taking. Your kindness becomes an expectation, not a gift. Your support becomes his crutch, not his inspiration. And your heart becomes his safety net, cushioning him from the consequences of his own lack of effort. When you try to express how drained you feel, he might even make you feel guilty. He'll twist the conversation, accusing you of being needy, ungrateful, or too demanding. And because you care, because you genuinely want to believe in the best version of him, you stay, you give more, you hope harder, and he keeps taking. But here's the truth. Real love is not one-sided. Real love doesn't leave you depleted. Real love replenishes you. In a healthy relationship, giving and receiving are natural and mutual. There are seasons where one partner might need more support, but over time, there's balance. There's a sense of we're in this together, not you're here to serve me. You deserve a man who notices your efforts and matches them. A man who doesn't just take from your well until it runs dry, but brings water too, filling your heart just as you fill his. You deserve a love that feels like a partnership, not a transaction. If you are constantly the one sacrificing, adjusting, and bending while he simply expects and receives, you're not being loved, you're being used. You are worthy of a love that lifts you up, not one that weighs you down. So protect your energy, protect your heart, and remember, you are not here to carry someone, you are here to walk alongside someone who carries you too. One of the most emotionally damaging signs a man is using you is when he ghosts you and then pops back into your life, only when it benefits him. At first, you might not even realize it's happening. He's charming, engaging, and makes you feel special. And then suddenly, without warning, he pulls away. He stops texting, he cancels plans, he becomes distant, offering no real explanation. You're left confused, hurt, and wondering what you did wrong. And just when you finally start to accept the silence, just when you're beginning to heal, here he comes again, sliding back into your messages like nothing happened. He might say he was busy, overwhelmed, or even flatter you by saying he missed you so much. It's intoxicating in the moment. You feel a rush of relief, of validation. Maybe he does care, you think. Maybe you overreacted. But then the cycle starts all over again. Ghosting and resurfacing is not random. It's calculated. It keeps you in a constant state of emotional instability. It trains you to accept breadcrumbs and label them as love. It teaches you that you have to stay available, forgiving and patient in order to earn his attention. Attention he gives out when it's convenient for him, not when you need or deserve it. A man who loves and values you doesn't disappear without explanation. He doesn't leave you wondering where you stand. He doesn't treat communication like a tool to manipulate your emotions. Love isn't hot and cold. It isn't absent one week and overflowing the next. Real love is steady. It's consistent. It's there even when life gets busy or hard, because you are a priority, not a backup plan. If someone disappears every time things get serious, or whenever you start to ask for more than surface level affection, it's a red flag you can't afford to ignore. Ghosting is a way to avoid emotional responsibility without losing the benefits of your attention and affection. And resurfacing is a way to reignite your hope. Just enough to keep you stuck, just enough to reset the clock so you tolerate more of his inconsistency. You deserve better. You deserve a man who stays. Not just when it's easy for him, but when it's meaningful for you. You deserve someone who communicates openly, who respects your time and emotions, and who doesn't treat your heart like a revolving door. Never let someone convince you that love feels like anxiety. Never accept a relationship where you spend more time questioning than feeling secure. Because true love doesn't leave you guessing. It shows up, it stays consistent, and it builds trust through actions. Not empty comebacks. Protect your peace. Trust your gut. And remember, the man who's truly meant for you won't ghost you. He'll guard your heart like the treasure it is. One of the most liberating things you can do for yourself is to stand in your worth, acknowledge the power you have within, and walk away from any situation that diminishes your value. It's easy to get caught up in the desire for validation, especially when you've invested time, energy, and emotions into someone who doesn't reciprocate the love and effort you give. But here's the hard truth. Your worth is not determined by anyone else's treatment of you. Your worth is intrinsic. It exists simply because you are you, and that is enough. When you recognize that your value isn't dependent on another person's attention, affection, or approval, you can finally free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of unhealthy relationships. Walking away with power isn't about leaving someone behind in anger or resentment. It's about choosing yourself, your peace, and your emotional well-being over someone who refuses to treat you with the respect you deserve. The first step to standing in your worth is to stop accepting anything less than what you know you deserve. This requires radical self-awareness. You have to be honest with yourself about the behaviors you've tolerated and why you've tolerated them. Do you stay because you're afraid of being alone? Do you stay because you're hoping things will change? Do you stay because you've convinced yourself you're not worthy of better? Let go of the fear of walking away. The right people will always show up when you're willing to let go of those who drain your energy, use you, or make you feel small. Your time is valuable, your heart is precious, and your energy is sacred. Stop giving it to those who don't deserve it. Once you've established this mindset, it becomes easier to walk away with confidence. You'll realize that every step you take away from someone who doesn't honor you is a step closer to the person who will. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough to value yourself above the chaos. It means you have the courage to say, I deserve better, and then actually demand that better for yourself. Remember, you don't need someone else to complete you. You are already whole. Standing in your worth means choosing yourself above the fear of rejection or loneliness. It means knowing that you're deserving of love, respect, and consistent effort. The moment you stop tolerating the bare minimum, you'll be amazed at how quickly the right people start to show up in your life. And when you walk away, don't look back. Let the people who used you, manipulated you, or failed to value you remain in the past. Keep your head high, your heart open, and your standards clear. There is a whole world of love, support, and growth waiting for you. But you'll only find it when you stop settling for less than you deserve. Walking away with power means walking away with peace. It means knowing you made the right choice for your happiness, knowing you didn't let anyone's shortcomings define you. It's a declaration that you are worthy of someone who cherishes you as you are, not as a convenience, not as an option, but as the whole incredible person you were always meant to be. Before we end today's video, I want to leave you with a powerful affirmation. One that you can say to yourself every single day to protect your heart and attract the kind of love you truly deserve. This isn't just about words, it's about rewiring the way you think about yourself and your worth. It's about setting a clear intention for the kind of energy you want to invite into your life. Repeat after me. I am worthy of love that is kind, consistent, and nurturing. I am deserving of a relationship where both of us grow together, supporting one another through the highs and lows. I trust that the universe has a plan for me and that the right person will come into my life at the right time when I am truly ready to receive the love I deserve. I protect my heart by setting healthy boundaries.